up, all my fight fans? So, in recent videos, I mentioned a couple things. I mentioned, will our judging ever get fixed in MMA and boxing? And I mentioned about a few fighters having difficulties accepting fighter pay, such as a Nate Diaz and a Francis Ngannou. We've even heard this from other big fighters, such as a Jorge Masvidal and even Jon Jones. So that brings me up to my next topic is, do you guys think in the next few years, whether it's a year, 5 year, 10 years, 100 years, is the MMA, UFC fighter pay ever going to get fixed? Do you guys think that in our lifetime we're going to finally see these fighters get paid what they are actually worth? We go back, and I remember hearing all this talks regarding fighter pay and looking into it. And I know there was even talks with the fighter union going on, and there's even this lawsuit even going on as well. You guys could definitely look it up. It's actually happening as well. So we always hear about the fighters fighting for fighter pay, getting paid more, and we always hear about how some of these fighters definitely are trying to shoot for more money and being paid what they're worth, I guess you could say. Just overall getting paid what they are worth. So my thing is, do they deserve it? 100%. 100%. These guys are so underpaid, it is not even funny. To me, these guys are way more underpaid than any other professional sport out there. If I were to go up to somebody and I would go up to say to this person out there, do you know perhaps the most common one right now, Francis Ngannou? He got paid $600,000 for his fight against Cyril Gane. $600,000 for one fight. And let me remind you, that was a heavyweight title fight. And let me remind you again, he is the heavyweight champion. And he is getting paid $600,000. So, with that being said, if I were to go up to somebody and tell them, do you know that there is a fighter out there that is getting paid? He is a heavyweight champion of the world. He's getting paid $600,000. I guarantee you, people that do not know who exactly Francis Ngannou is, even though that's hard to actually tell people, because he's very, very popular. They would probably think he is fighting in some type of low-level league or an amateur league or one of those regional brackets. Like, he is not necessarily fighting in the biggest organization that's worth billions of dollars. I promise you that, because that's what it sounds like. No one in the NFL, I don't care who it is making $600,000 that's an NFL player. I honestly feel like if they are, you're looking at your third string. If there's even fourth and fifth string, I don't know 100% too much about NFL, but if there is just the bottom of the barrel is the third string, I believe that's what they are making. You could go up to any NFL punt returner or field goal kicker, and I promise you, those guys are definitely making more. Now, I know what they're going to say. Well, that's just for a fight. Overall, he has made millions. Okay. One comment I remember hearing Dana White mentioning, saying that, because I believe Mark Hunt had a big dispute with Dana White, and there was a big lawsuit. And in an interview, he mentioned that in over 6 years, I believe Mark Hunt made close to $6-7 million in 6 years. You're talking about one of your more popular heavyweight fighters in the world. Even fought for interim championship against Fabricio Werdum, if I remember correctly. In 6 years, made $6-7 million. And nobody is going to tell me that is not wrong. Like that, there's something wrong with that picture, Because I promise you, again, I hate to bring it up. I promise you there is no NFL punt returner or kicker because, and no disrespect to those guys, but I feel like they do get paid the least because, their job just so happens just to be kicking the football. Still very difficult, still very challenging, 100%. But they are not running the ball, they're not throwing the ball, they're not protecting the quarterback, they're not doing any of those things. So I believe they're not getting paid as much as those other guys are. And that's where I go to. You look at all the quarterbacks on all throughout the whole league, even all the pitchers, even some of the first basemen in baseball. You look at some of the basketball players, the really unknown basketball players. I promise you, have made more money in 1 or 2 years than Mark Hunt has made in 6. So again, is fighter pay ever going to get fixed? Are these guys ever going to get paid what they are worth? And a lot of people like to shit on boxing. 100%. They do. Especially the MMA community, they like to say, well, boxing don't make shit either. They go on the level, you look at the bottom of the barrel, and they're not making as much as either. But I promise you this, though. You look at boxers, like a Danny Garcia, like a Keith Thurman, even back in the other days with Amir Khan, or even some of the earlier fighters like Canelo Alvarez, before he was even super big, was getting paid way more, was almost getting paid the exact same level as a Conor McGregor in boxing. And this is when he was boxing guys like Josito Lopez, Austin Trout, when he was boxing before he actually went against Floyd Mayweather. When he was boxing Shane Mosley, these guys were making millions of dollars. And are you going to tell me again that Mark Hunt should be grateful for making $6 million in 7 years? No. That's something I believe he should be making in 1 year. 1 year. For the amount of fighting that he does. And let's get, again, I bring up the NFL, I bring up basketball, I bring up baseball. When these guys get hurt, when these guys, that gets taken care of, again, they probably get taken care of as well when they get hurt, 100%. But as far as the trainers, as far as all the other practice teams, everything that they need to do, it gets taken care of by the NFL. That doesn't for MMA. That $6-7 million, it goes straight. A lot of it goes to his management team, goes to his trainers, goes to his training partners, goes to the nutritionists. They don't pay for none of that stuff. None of it. So out of that $6-7 million, what, he probably got to see 2, maybe 3 million of that if he was lucky. How much do you think Francis Ngannou got to see out of that $600,000? Again, nutritionists, his fight team, his trainers, all of them get a percentage, including his management. So at the end of the things, will we see fighter pay get fixed? I know I've heard multiple podcasts talk about this, multiple channels talk about this, and they are all right. Probably not. Why? Because there's always going to be somebody that's going to take over. There's always going to be somebody that feels they will accept what they are giving them. They go up to Francis Ngannou, we're giving you $600,000 for this heavyweight fight. No, you don't want it? All right, well, here you are, Curtis Blades or Derek Lewis or all these other heavyweight fighters that probably don't care, and they'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll take it. And that's why it is. A lot of podcasts and experts have mentioned that, and it's true. While there are other fighters out there who have no problem making that $600,000 because they're probably used to making $20,000, $30,000, they're always going to accept that. And that's why fighter pay is never really going to be truly fixed. And until the fighters all finally realize, like, hey, you know what? That 20 grand you're taking now is okay, but you're going to need more later. That 600 grand you're taking now might be okay, but you can get more later. And you can always get more if everyone were to team up together and say, you know what? No, that's not enough. No, that's not enough. The only reason why fighter pay has not been able to be fixed by the MMA community because there's always options. when they have no longer options, but they still got to put on a show. They still got to pay. They are paying. They have to pay to put on their shows. Obviously, they are supposed to put on a fight once a year. I mean, not once a year, once a month, a pay-per-view once a month, and I'm sure fight nights. I can't remember exactly how many they're supposed to put on those. So when you have no more options, but yet you still got to put on those fights, that's when I feel that fighter pay will finally start to increase. And that's something that needs to be done. Do I know 100% that it's going to get done? Do I know 100% that's what's going to fix it? Do I know 100% that's the only option that these fighters have to get their pay? No, I do not. No, I do not. But that's just something I feel. That's something that I feel I hope can get done, because these fighters definitely put their lives on the line. They put their health on the line. We see them as they get older breaking down. They need surgery in their knees and their elbows and their necks. They are in their eyes, and then they need all this other surgery that they got to take that costs them money, that puts them in financial debt. Tim Sylvia had to do a GoFundMe because he didn't have enough money to do the surgeries from the injuries that he got from fighting. And of course, it's their responsibility, fighters, to take care of your money. Don't go overspend. Don't do anything foolish. But then again, it's also a responsibility to make sure you're getting paid what you are worth. That's why Francis Ngannou is going to go into boxing. That is why we got Nate Diaz going into boxing. That's why we got all these other fighters that are testing that free agency market, because they want to see what they are worth. You are not young forever. You're not going to be in your 20s forever or your 30s forever, which is your years to be a fighter, which is your years to make as much money as you can. Because this is not like a regular job where you're going to get retirement down the line. You're going to get some kind of benefits down the line. You're going to get some kind of Social Security down the line. You're going to get all these other different things that you could get from a regular job. This is your career. This is your professional career. Could you do other things outside of it? Yeah, you could do your announcing. You can do some training that I've seen other fighters do. But again, a lot of these guys are doing it not because they want to, but because they have to. Because they need to make that extra money. And that's what's wrong. After all those years of doing what you got to do, after all those years of trying your best and being your best and spending the money on the right eating, the right supplements, the right food, the right trainers to be at the top of the level, to be a champion, and then you're not able to make that kind of money that you should be making, like you see all these other athletes making. You got people signing contracts for $300-400 million. How many fighters do you think are going to see that in their lifetime? Very few. Especially in the MMA. Especially in the MMA, especially in boxing. I mean, not boxing, excuse me. Especially in the UFC. So again, are we going to see this get fixed? Are we going to see fighters get paid what they should be getting paid? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.